Hello, my friends. I am so excited to be here with one of my friends, dear friend, and amazing woman who is the president CEO of the Pottawattamie County Community Foundation, Donna Dostal. It's so good to see you again. Happy New Year. The first time
Andy, thank you for having me. Happy New Year to you and to everyone tuning in to Metro TV. It's great to see everybody.
It's good to see you too. I can't believe we're a month into, a little over a month by the time this airs, into the new year. But let's talk a little bit about 2021, because something really exciting and very newsworthy happened for your organizations and many nonprofits in Southeast Iowa for Giving Tuesday. So that was, as people know, that was that last Tuesday in November. But you had some big numbers this year. So yeah, I'm gonna let you just take it away.
Well, thank you for asking, Andy. And we could not be more over the moon for the way that folks came forward and supported not only nonprofit philanthropy, building the capacity of nonprofits through that day of Giving Tuesday, which is it's an international phenomenon. And so we partnered with Share Omaha to really make it a thing. Share Omaha absolutely took the lead on communicating throughout the metro area, but we on the Southwest Iowa side kind of kicked it up a notch by incentivizing. We at the Community Foundation, we incentivize philanthropy through donor advised funds and through donor designated funds. And a way that we kind of amplify that is when anyone gives to an endowment with us, we actually kick in 10% towards that to really kind of, to really kind of maximize that and just kind of plus up that and that philanthropy. Well, in November, and we've been doing this now, this would be our fourth year, first with Pottawattamie Gives, and then through Giving Tuesday. In November, we actually double that to 20%. So anybody adding to a nonprofit endowment with us, anybody that has an endowment with us just for their own private philanthropy, and they gave during that month of November, we increased their gift and just their capacity philanthropy by 20%. So the giving coming into the Community Foundation, into nonprofit endowments with us, and into personal endowments that will then go back into the community for generations to come, $1.8 million. And then with our match, it was 2.2 million.
Oh my goodness. And how much did you do last year? I love this. What happened in 2020?
340,000.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I am just, wow. That's such a reason to celebrate everybody in the community who gave, and Pottawattamie County Community Foundation for that 20%. I mean, you just, like you said, you're over the moon. I mean, my goodness.
Well, we were recognized by the leaders of Giving Tuesday, the international organization, nonprofit. They actually shouted out Southwest Iowa it was a 1,200% increase over the year before, and shouted us out as one of the leaders internationally as understanding what it means to be philanthropic in your community and taking advantage of that Giving Tuesday. That day of Giving Tuesday, that day of giving, where we really want to give back as individuals and as communities. And we couldn't be more grateful to Marjorie Moss, Katie Forney, the whole group at Share Omaha for lifting up our voices. The last time we had Pottawattamie and Omaha Gives, that was in 2020. We on the Southwest Iowa side, we broke records and rose $800,000 for nonprofits. And so I feel like now the sky is kind of becoming the limit for the philanthropy on Southwest Iowa side, and we're just excited to be part of it.
Yeah. And there's a lot of exciting things going on across the river that let's talk about a few of those things. And then you got even some more things happening this year that, you can let us in on, or they're going to kind of unfold as the year goes on. But let's talk first. So some of the exciting programs that are supported, the scholarship, it's scholarship season. So let's just, I want to talk a little bit about that.
So community foundations normally across our entire region take a strong role in helping to facilitate scholarships in communities. I know Fremont Area Community Foundation, a lot of our surrounding Iowa nonprofit or community foundations in the different counties, they, a lot of folks will go to the community foundation and start scholarships. And we're very fortunate in the Council Bluffs area and in the 9 counties that we serve to have an organization that we partner with called Southwest Iowa Education Foundation. And they sort of house the scholarship process. So an individual will say, I want to honor my family, or I want to honor maybe my parents, they passed away and they were both graduates of Trainer or Underwood or something like that. And I want to honor them by starting a scholarship, and sometimes even entire classes of alumni will do that, right? And so at the Community Foundation, we partnered with Southwest Iowa Education Foundation, or as we like to lovingly call them, SWIAF, and we help to not only manage the funds that they have, but now we're partnering with them to even help facilitate the scholarship process. So young people, the high school students now will start as of February 1st, they will start applying through our website for those SWIAF scholarships to a universal scholarship application. And then it automatically kind of checks to see all the scholarships that they're eligible for. And so we are so blessed to have an organization that helps to manage that scholarship process. They have their own board that makes the decisions, and it's all done anonymously. So there's a lot of equity there. But one of the biggest announcements that we have is, and a lot of your viewers and your readers with the Spirit of Omaha and with the Metro magazine know about our Winninghoff scholarship. That was Rick Winninghoff, which lots of folks buy produce from his for years and years, produce from his stands that he has in the farmers markets. Well, when he passed away, he left $5 million with us to create scholarships for years and years to come for Trainer and Underwood students. And the first year we weren't quite sure, and it's from the earnings of that fund that generates the scholarships. Well, the first year we gave out 7 scholarships at each school, each for 4 years for $2,500 a year. Well, based on the earnings of the fund over the last year, this year we had to change that up a little bit. And this is just a game changer. We're giving 10 for each school, 10 students, renewable for 4 years, and each scholarship is $5,000 a year. Wow. I mean, what we look to see what the annual tuition, like in-state tuition at some of our state colleges are, it's like $9,000 or $10,000 a year for in-state tuition. I mean, $5,000 a year for a young person to go to school is a game changer. And so, we're for 2020, for 2022, we are earmarking $400,000 for scholarships for Trainer and Underwood alone.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So we've got a few more things to cover. And again, so many exciting things. Community impact granting.
Yes. So in Pottawattamie County too, our endowment that we have at the Community Foundation, we have our own endowment too, which is kind of our board discretionary funds that we grant from every year. And we have what's called our community impact grant process. And folks know that we usually open that up at the end of January. Once again, we're going to do that again this year. January 31st, that opens. So we grant anywhere between $500 and $5,000 for community-based projects or initiatives. And we want to kind of fill the gap where, where small communities, or even here in Council Bluffs or in the Southwest Iowa area, where they can come to us and say, hey, we're serving folks in Pottawattamie County. Here's our project. How can we help? So in the past, we've granted $5,000 to Children's Square to help fund them purchasing a vehicle to take children to their medical appointments. Last year, we gave $4,000 to Vision Trainer, because they're building an entire sports complex for their growing communities of Trainer and Underwood and Macedonia. All the folks in Southwest Iowa would be using that. And so we're kind of, it really is a great opportunity for us to be able to either fill a gap or, do some kind of point of need funding in Pottawattamie County. So that opens up on January 31st. And usually we make our granting decisions by March 30th.
Okay. All right. So lastly, we've got about a minute left. Or actually, we have a couple of, so your team is growing.
Yep.
Talk about that a little bit.
We do have, so if there's folks out there in the philanthropic community, you work in the kind of philanthropic or business development relationship management realm, we have a position open. It's our community, I think it's a community, what did I call it? I can't even remember. It's visit our website. Did I write it on your questions? I can't remember. It's community partnerships manager.
Yep,
Community
yeah.
partnerships manager. Yes. And so we will, not only will they be working with our nonprofits in the 9 counties that we serve, but they'll also be helping to facilitate granting and kind of help to manage that granting process for Pottawattamie County. So it's pretty exciting. And some of the things that we're announcing, the partnership with Share, like Share Good and Share Omaha, that announcement's going to be made here in the next probably month or so.
Okay. I know, again, exciting things coming up. You guys are moving your new space.
We are in our new space.
You're in your new space.
We are in our new space.
I can't wait.
Yeah, we bought it, we renovated it. We took a year to redo it. And now we're in, and I can't wait till April when we have our open house and dedication. Just a spoiler alert, it is the Pottawattamie County Community Foundation, our new addition and such, is definitely by the generosity of the Charles E. Lakin Family Foundation. And so our new addition is dedicated to Florence M. and Charles E. Lakin, and it will be our Center for Community Giving.
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. Well, our time is up today, Donna. I know you're going to be back here in a couple months, and we've got some things we're working on. And again,
yes,
so many exciting things happening in Council Bluffs, Southwest Iowa. You're going to be making more announcements, and we will be here to share the news with everybody. So thank you. I'm excited.
We're so grateful to you, Andy. You're absolutely the best possible venue for us to be able to share this news.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. And I look forward to what's in store. So thanks again, Donna.
Thank you, Andy.
And folks, we will be right back. Hello, my friends. I'm so excited to be here with 2 amazing women. We have Ashley Kuhn. She is the president of Blair Freeman, and Miranda Adams. She is the executive vice president. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us. We're excited to be here.
I want to mention that Ashley, she was in Metro Magazine as our game changer in October in 2021. And then we also had both Ashley and Miranda on the cover of Midland's Business Journal in November. So it's just really been great to get to know you ladies better. And you're doing some really amazing things with Blair Freeman construction company, along with other things. But let's just talk a little bit. I just want to know, how did you 2 meet, and what inspired you to create this company?
So Ashley and I both went to the University of Nebraska in Lincoln. And so we met in Lincoln at school. And what inspired us to start our company is I had a challenging project. It was a challenging commercial project. Knew Ashley was in commercial development, called her up and said, friend, let's put our heads together and figure this out. And once we figured it out, we said that, how many people run into roadblocks trying to get a project done, trying to, get something off the ground and get it going. And so we said, we don't want people to stop when they run into those challenges. So let's create a company that's going to help people navigate all things construction.
Yeah. And what year did you guys found the company?
2018.
Yes.
So 2018.
Okay.
Is when we formally started. Yes. Like Miranda said, we went through that problem project first, and then.
Yeah. And then decided to actually then create this and open doors. So
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about some of the projects that you're working on right now.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So spans the width of A to Z. So we've got both owners representation with our company and we have construction. Owners representation was kind of born organically because there was a lot of folks that had projects that they didn't really know how to get from A to Z. And so a lot of it has gravitated towards North Omaha because I think just overall, that's kind of the next bubble for real estate.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so we've got everything from historic churches that are getting converted over to collaborative space. We've got new construction homes all over North Omaha. We've got retail, huge mixed use development, behavioral health campuses. We've got a little bit of everything going everywhere.
Well, let me ask you this. This might be a little off the talking points. What are you most, what are you most excited about? Or what are one of these projects or a couple that really just, gets you excited?
All of it.
Yeah, all of it.
It's just it's that idea that there has not been previous development, specifically in North Omaha, that's been on large scale. You've seen like a small project peppered in here, peppered in there. But when we put all of our clients together on a map, it really shows the transformation that's getting ready to happen.
And why do you feel, I know this is the next bubble. It's a part of town, like you said, that has not been developed. And things are really happening there. And why is it so important that this is happening now?
Because it's been a long time coming. North Omaha, like Ashley was saying, it's a area of town that a lot of things a ton hasn't been happening as far as development. And so Ashley was born and raised in North Omaha. My husband's family is deeply rooted in North Omaha, and to see just the development that's coming and all of the things that, the affordable housing that's coming, a lot of the commercial development, it's something that's needed and everybody's just jumping on board. So it's been great.
Yeah. And I think from my perspective, when we talk about how neighborhoods that have been socially impacted negatively over time, the next wave is usually, that they get priced out of homes in the community that they live in, that new affordable housing gets built, but the community is not the ones that take advantage of that. And I think just from a holistic development standpoint, we wanted to make sure that the folks that have been there forever, that have suffered, at the hands of redlining or things like that, are able to stay there, and that the community really does come back to a mixed income, mixed use feel, that we're not just kicking everybody out of the neighborhood to bring brand new.
Yeah. So let's kind of look at a timeline too. How long has your company, was it kind of out of the gate when you started in 2018 that you started these projects there? And looking ahead, what are you looking at, from a timeline perspective?
So when we started our company, one of our first projects was in North Omaha at the campus of 75 North. So we did the dining hall there. So right out of the gates, we were in North Omaha, we were building, we were impacting and developing there. So as far as timeline, it's like the pedal to the metal, like whatever we can get our hands on, whatever we can do, we're really excited to just be a part of the development that's happening and being called on to be impactful.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about, thinking about construction and development ecosystem in Omaha, what changes have you seen since your company's founding, and what makes you so excited about the city's future and looking at the Omaha metro area?
Changes, I think, just overall, is just the construction market in general. It's probably not for the better. Economically, it's fantastic. Supply chain and availability of subcontractors is a different story. So that, I think, is probably the downside of it. But the upside is that there's so many major developments that are happening around the city that you just see these huge catalysts for change coming into neighborhoods that maybe wouldn't normally have those catalysts for change, but then also the investment from companies that have not historically been in the Midwest that are coming and providing jobs, and obviously opening that pipeline for construction. I think those are some of the exciting things that are happening.
Yeah. And the exciting thing is also the push for affordable housing, and just knowing that there's going to be affordable homes that are going up that aren't, they're going to look and feel and just be as amazing. And so that's exciting too.
Yeah.
Well, and let me ask you, as two, women entrepreneurs, owners, let's just talk a little bit about your team. Who you have working with you, who's, who you're surrounding yourself with. Talk a little, I'm just curious just about how you developed that team and how has it grown, and looking at the contribution everyone makes.
Oh,
Listen, I think we are probably the lone wolf in saying that the talent pool for us gets a little scary because we have so many people that approach us of just wanting to be a part of it, which is, it's humbling to have so much talent that wants to be, but we have this like list of like, what's our next hire?
Yeah.
And it's always like, we already have the person slated in. It's just a matter of, have we grown to that capacity where we need it yet? So it's really exciting from that standpoint. But then also I think the other thing is that, what is it? Probably about 97% of our executive team are women, which is another unique thing, especially in the construction world. And that I can't say that that's intentional. We just want to hire the best folks that have the highest skills. And for us, it's been women so far.
Yeah. And it's our team has really grown organically. It's one of those things where, like Ashley said, it's humbling, and people approach us and they have these amazing resumes. And so it's like, come, let's go, let's do this. Let's
figure out how to
let's
make
figure it out. So it's grown organically, and it's been great.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit just about women entrepreneurs. Being in, I've been doing in the publishing business, honestly, since I was like 10 years old, because my father founded Midland's Business Journal, but really kind of hands-on, in and owning my own business for publishing business for 30 years. And it's interesting how, just how the journey has gone. So I want to ask you to, what kind of advice, or what would you tell, young women, or they don't even have to be young, entrepreneurs are looking at creating something in their communities that's going to, they're wanting to have an impact. Any advice? I think what you just said about building a team was awesome, and that, you've got these positions and your company's growing into it, growing into having those people on your team. But I'm gonna let you two, what kind of advice, what things should women be thinking about that maybe they're not?
Don't put yourself in a box. I think that just go for it. Don't listen to what everybody else is saying. Don't think about what you've been doing, what you used to do. Don't put yourself in a box and just go for it.
Yeah.
Because you'll surprise yourself when you get out of that comfort zone, when you get out of that box that you've put yourself in, or you allow people to put you in, because the sky's the limit and there's so many things out there. So that's one of the biggest things that I would say, just don't put yourself in a box. I had no idea when I was a little girl that I'd be owning a construction company. That wasn't what I thought I would be doing. I knew I'd be doing something in finance or real estate, but owning a construction company wasn't it. So if I would have let myself be in that box, then I probably wouldn't be here. So
yeah, I think for me, it would be, don't overplan. I feel like there's a fine line between over planning, where you're going to convince yourself that it won't work. And then just planning to the right stage where you've put all your ducks in a row and you're ready to go. And so I think with Miranda and I, just overall, when we sit and think about our next move too much, we convince ourselves that we can't do that. Nope, don't do it. And then we back out. When we just check the correct boxes, where does it make sense financially? Can we execute? And then go, instead of like, let's think about all the terrible things that could happen on the back end.
Absolutely.
So don't overplan.
That's great, because I also know that when you attach an outcome to something, it limits it, and it, like you said, puts it in a box and makes it very narrow, versus what else is possible, that opens up space for anything that you might not even be on your radar, or that you never thought of, that's just going to pop up. So that's great advice. So we've got about a minute or so left, and this wasn't on the talking points, but I'm going to throw it at you anyway. Looking 5 years ahead. So again, not really knowing exactly what that looks, but what is 5 years from now? Where do you think that you're going to be at, or what is your hope for the future with your company?
I'd say 5 years from now, because we're so young, we will have proof that we're good at what we do. You're going to see all the projects that we're talking about right now, you're going to see come out of the dirt, and you'll know that Blair Freeman's the real deal. I mean, construction takes so long when you're doing huge projects. Development takes so long. I think in 5 years, you'll finally be able to say they were not just talking the talk.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, similar to Ashley, just being able to see and feel our impact. 5 years from now, just being able to have that tangible, like
Gives me
we're out
chills a
here.
little bit.
I know we're out there doing it. So
Yeah, and I think like when I asked that timeline question earlier, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, it takes time. I mean, and development takes time. It's not
Oh,
something
yeah.
that you can, and it's ongoing. You know, you're here and then you're moving on, you know, blocks down, or you know, to different
Yeah.
parts. So
Yeah, especially in construction, the pre-work
Yes.
is like 2, 3, 4 years before you see any dirt moving on a site. So
Right.
it you know, it's a long scale.
yeah. Well, Ashley, Miranda, I just want to thank you so much. Again, you two are inspiring women. You know, just this conversation has inspired me, and I learned some things too, about how I can, you know, just some great advice and just about growing a team. I think we're constantly learning, whether you're, you know, you started your business in 2018 or 1996. Always learning at what else is new and possible. And I mean, I'm excited for the future, and I'm again excited for everything you both are doing. So thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks so much for having us.
You are welcome.